And yet again, you find me stalling. I have quite a bit of outdoor pole barn work to do on bows. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 blanks ready to go out, 3 paddle bows, and if you are a longtime viewer, do you remember the snake bow? It's like it is a board bow. It is a long bow with a narrow, deep handle that is actually copied from a stave bow, mine isn't working, mulberry bow that I sold. I copied it. It was a snaky bow, so it looked like a snaky bow. And I've got this great stuff from Pine Holler longbows, actually hollow longbows, that is a photo-like reproduction of a diamondback rattlesnake on cloth. It's beautiful backing, so I shall use that. I just found that I had 72 inches of it in the cabinet of mystery that I'm going to put on that snake bow, that long bow. And frankly, if I'm this far away from it, I can't tell the difference between that and real snake. It's photographic reproduction, so it is from a real snake. It's just a texture. There is a texture to real snake backing. But aside from that, they're really BA bows. Okay, I'm going to right a wrong here. And I'm also going to pick on 2 viewers. I'm going to pick on Mikko and I'm going to pick on Aaron. I have a lot of respect for Aaron as a bow maker, and plus he's a Texan. God bless Texas. And so we're okay there. Yes, Aaron, I took down, they didn't take down, I took down the for sale video on this turtle bow. Because I wronged somebody. He wasn't MIA. Just is one of these people doesn't check his email, and I totally understand that. And so it's not for sale, it's sold. Beautiful bow. And just a note, hey Jer, if you're watching this, suppose like this, you've got a newish string, it's still stretching a little bit, you tie it, it's at 5 1/4 inches, don't go beyond 5 1/2, do not go beyond 5 1/2. And it stretches down, it's like, oh, I don't want to tie that knot again. And so here's a little trick. That's the tied end. This is the end that has that slip loop. It's like, I don't want to retie the knot, so what do? I'm going to flip it over and get to the part where the slip loop is and just center it ends. Remember, center it ends. I don't know if this shows up, but the tip is on the floor, and if you're outside, I just throw my hat, or I carry a bandana. Don't use a banana. Throw a bandana on the ground. Knee, center of handle. This hand is close to the tip as you can. Just knock it off there and twist. Twist it a little tighter. There is no knot tying involved here. And then, voila, it is at the right brace. I don't know what it is, but that looks darn near perfect. And so there it is, not for sale, not for sale, sold. On to the next subject. Aaron asked a very good question, Senor Luna. And it's funny how coincidences are. First coincidence is Mikko. And you'll see it in the comment section. Mikko said that my videos come about at the right time because he had been trying to repair an arrow with a pine, a pine. It is a dowel, even if you make it a dowel. And he did the chisel and did the split, and it stuck this end into this end to make a footed shaft, and that pine dowel split all the way up because he didn't realize that you have to have a string tied around there to keep that split from continuing up. Aaron asked, what is the main purpose, I'm paraphrasing this, of footing your shafts? A coincidence in Mikko's case, he saw my video, all is good. Coincidence in Aaron's case, because his question is answered by Mikko. I believe that the primary reason, the driving force behind footing a shaft was repairing an arrow. A lot of investment in time. If you're out and about, you can't order, I would like 12 natural barred turkey feathers, please, and then Mr. McFeely or whoever it was that delivers them shows up at your door with the feathers. You're out and about. It's sometimes hard to find feathers, and so after all that work of preparing this beautiful arrow and fletching it with those hard-won arrow feathers, I mixed up my words, and then you wind up breaking the end off of it. And it's like, oh, I don't want to have to redo all this. In fact, I can't find any more feathers, and I don't, whatever. Is you just repair it by footing it. I think this was the big reason why this stuff came about. Secondary reasons. Perhaps you have a cedar shaft like I do here, and you want to have it weight forward. Maybe you're not going to have a stone point on it. Maybe you're not going to do anything fancy. Maybe it's just going to be like small game, and you want to have a hard end to it and just sharpen point. Then in that case, you know, having a light wood, light is in density here, and a heavy wood is in density up here on the foreshaft, will give it a proper weighting. It will mimic having some kind of a point up there. And so that might be another reason. The third reason, it's really cool. It's really artistic. It's really beautiful to have a light colored wood here and a dark colored wood here. Let's carry it to another extreme, is in length. What if you're into darts and dart throwers? And I really shy away from saying atlatl because that is a specific word from a specific region. And the people that use them in Australia would call them woomeras, and people in Germany would have called them something else, and somebody in Inuit would call them something else yet. And so an atlatl is a specific word from a specific place. But suppose you have a dart and you've got a dart thrower. And you want to have a light shaft here, but this takes a lot of abuse. You want to have a heavy shaft up here. And what is the usual way to do it? A socket. You spin a hole in this part and then you socket the end in here. How cool would it be to have, say, a fir or a light wood for this, and then like a contrasting color up here? I carry it farther than that, as far as when I go through my phases, when I'm in my dart phase, spear thrower phase, I like to remind myself of that James Bama print. You probably see it. Just go to eBay, James Bama, B-A-M-A print. And you'll see this archaic dude with a quiver that's containing shortish, probably 4 feet long darts, unfletched, with a dart thrower. And so my quest has always been to reproduce that. Is I want to have the shortest possible darts that are unfletched that fly right. And so I get into a lot of tuning. You know, you can tell. You do this overhand flip, and if it kicks up like this, it's too stiff, and if it dives, it's too floppy. And so you can tune your darts by scraping the back end, but you also have to have it weighted right. Just like a javelin, a ballistic kind of projectile, if you have the balance point at 1/3, you know, break it into thirds, and if it's 1/3 from the front, then they'll typically float. If you have it starting to go the balancing point a little further forward, then you start getting into it'll fly right, but then it'll dive. And a little tidbit is the World Javelin Society, or whoever the governing thing is, has made it so you cannot have that balance point to the floating part, so they don't fly, actually. I'm not going to explain how something can actually have lift if it's cylindrical, but it probably goes into the fact that it flies like this and not like this. And you can weight those by having a differential in density throughout the shaft and adjusting that with the length of the foreshaft opposed to the length of the main shaft. And so I am. You know, it's on my list. It's down there, but it is on my list to make a set of balanced. I've never had luck with 4 foot, 4.5, 5 foot, yes, unfletched darts thrown through a dart thrower. I've had good luck with. In fact, if you poke through, look at the Baton de Commandement video that I made. I don't know how to spell it. I can barely say it. Can't say it in France. But go to my channel, which you're on, and do a search for Baton de Commandement, and I have unfletched darts that fly right. I almost hit the stump at something like 30-something yards. That's all. Last bit, Aaron, if you're still watching this, if you haven't drifted off to sleep, the reason I am doing this is because for some reason your comments have to be approved, and I sometimes am unable to locate that thing on my phone and my shiny new computer, my Lenovo. It sees very little use yet. I can't find a way to approve your comment. I have no idea why they're holding your comments out of anyone. And so I felt necessary to do this video. Nice. I was talking to a fellow at the gas station last night. He saw my Big Ash Crossbow video, and it's like, yes, click. In my second book, A Bowmaker's Notebook, Volume 2, I'm not only going to have the complete thing on arrows, including how to mix the pitch, fat, and ground charcoal. You always have to do that. You always have to do that. For that, footing of the shafts and making this shaft and that shaft and the other shaft, the shaft theme song. But I think I'm going to have crossbows in there. Got to have crossbows because that's a big interest to people. And also, a note upon notes is that when I tested my Big Ash crossbow and I was able to shoot, I think it was 360 yards, a heavy, heavy arrow. The sinew was not fully cured on that beast. Now it is fully cured. It's been a year. More than a year since I put that sinew on that thing. So it's probably risen in weight. It's probably risen in its reflex. And I bet it could shoot 400 yards. I bet it can throw something 400 yards now. And remember, that is basically just a longbow drawn at English warbow draw lengths, 31 inches. And so I feel pretty good that I created an actual longbow, because that is just an actual longbow that can fling a heavy arrow at least 360 yards, now probably 400 yards. That's one in the plus column, definitely. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. Appreciate your watchership.